Hey comic book fans, welcome to Comic Fix, your one-stop shop for every single thing DC Comics, to some creator-owned to a little bit Marvel. My name is David, and welcome to Comic Fix. Now in this video, it is episode 27, and I am titling this episode Joker, Pure Instinct, and you'll see why. So I'm going to start things off with my Batman books that I got this week. Now, I am going to be saving the main course, the Batman, for its own individual review. It will be only that review that I'll be doing for that video, so I'm doing it after I do all the other tie-ins to the Death of the Family, plus one that's not a tie-in, which is one I picked up because I missed it last week. So, starting things off, we got Batwing, issue number 15. Now, Judd Winnick was the original writer for the series, and he did 14 issues. He went off to go and do some of his own projects. I hear he's doing some books for children, and that's great. He didn't have time to go and write the Batwing book, so he left. But he left in a weird state. When he left the story, he left it at the final issue, or what felt like the final issue. And he never got to complete his story arc with Father Lost. So we got a new writer on there and a new artist. Marcus 2 is gone also. And we have a new writer, a new artist. Now they are given a hard project to do. They're going to finish Judd Winnick's storyline with Father Lost. And will it feel kind of rushed? Will it not? Well, he's put in a pretty bad spot, and I wish I could tell you what the guy's name is. It's Fabian Nicieza. I know I probably butchered his name, but some of these names in these comics are really hard to pronounce. So, let's just dive right into it. There's one thing that Judd Winnick tried to do with his series, is that when he was telling the origin of Batwing, he was more telling the origin of him in General Kitita's army. He was a child soldier in Africa, and he just came up through the ranks and became the general's favorite soldier. And Judd Winnick just told that whole entire story. We didn't really get the storyline of when David was in the children's sanctuary, or children's harbor. But in the beginning of this storyline, or this book, we get to see a little bit of David in the children's harbor and talking to this girl, and he's showing this girl his football skills. And I just love the point in there where she says to him, basically, what happens when General Nikita's target is on you? Are you going to be showing him your football skills? Now, one thing to know about David, he is not afraid of General Kitita whatsoever. There's a point in Judd Winnick's run where General Nikita's killed David's brother. And what did David do? He ran away, and then in General Kitita's sleep, he goes and kidnaps him and throws him to the dogs, basically. He takes him to the enemy's territory and shoots a gun off. All the enemies are coming to General Kitita's area. He is not afraid of them whatsoever. So basically what he does, he tells the girl, I'm not worried, and your anger that you have building up inside you is basically going to kill you. And I just love that. And then you see the girl as an adult who has just been stabbed by Father Lost. And I just love that setup for this book. I mean, the artwork in here, it's just gorgeous as hell. And you definitely tell that the artist is taking his time with this first page. That's to say that later on, you could just definitely tell that the artist just got rushed. And then we got a big old battle with Father Lost and Batwing. Now, you would think that it'll be just a traditional fight scene. Well, no. Father Lost, his powers is basically to mind control people, even Batwing himself. And in here, we get the fight between Father Lost and Batwing in the mind of Batwing. And it's just so cool just to see the way that it is told. And with the mind control, Father Lost basically gets connected to David's memories, and he notices some similarities where both their parents died from AIDS, and just how they were raised as a young children without any home to call their own. And so there's some really cool stuff there, and you really feel for Father Lost. There's one thing in Judd Winnick's run that he did that I didn't really care for, is that you never really had this enemy or this villain that felt any weight to him. Well, in this issue, you actually get to feel a little bit of weight to him. And I just really like that. I'm surprised by the first couple pages on how this new writer is actually continuing on the story and making it feel natural. Like Judd Winnick really didn't lead the book, and it feels like that it's a natural progression. And then the book is dumb. Basically, David loses the fight in the mind control, and then you see the art go down. You see that the artist kind of was trying to hurry him up, and there were some character moments that I just didn't feel fit for some of the characters. And specifically with the art, just this page right here, I didn't feel anything, just especially with David and him being mind controlled. It didn't fit whatsoever. I just looked at the art and I was just like, wow, you definitely tell the artist is trying to hurry it up. Well, there's been this character in Batwing that is basically the love interest for David, also known as Batwing. And she has been a very strong character. You've seen her just in the thick of things and being like, I know I'm a female in Africa, but I'm a police officer, and she just kicks so much ass. Well, in here, the times that we see her in this book, she's always has fear on her face, and she never feels like that woman that feels in control of everything that she does. She just feels like she's supposed to be there in this issue just for the, oh my god, what is happening? It does not work whatsoever. And we also see some more issues of the art, where the artist just especially in the face of Batwing in this issue, or in this part, it just doesn't fit. I just look at him just like, his face looks a little too big, his body, I don't know, just something does not fit. And basically what happens is that David's partner basically has to take control of the armor that he's using, and basically freezes him and shocks him to death, or not shocks him to death, but shocks him enough to get the mind control away from David. And it's just, I like that part. And there's a part in there where the cops are like, okay, we got a chance to see who is behind the mask. And that's when we see the female character finally take control of the situation. You see her shoot some shots in the air and warn the cop, do not go near that mask. It's probably booby-trapped. And I'm like, where was this lady all along? I mean, she seems so strong in this scene, but in the other scenes, she just did not seem that strong as a character. So in the end, this issue kind of wrapped up really quick after that scene. We get to see what happened to our female character that was has some ties into the past of Batwing, or David, and we get to see the final act of Father Loss, and his acts felt so rushed just because Judd Winnick was not there to tell his complete story. I think it was going to be a 6-issue story arc, which was completed in 3 issues, and just the ending just felt so rushed that you're just like, okay, this writer wanted to go and tell his own story, so he went and he told the ending of Judd Winnick's story arc, and now in the next issue, I'm really interested to see where the story's going to go, because Judd Winnick, the main problem I had with his run was that his characters, or the villains, do not have no weight to him. He had Massacre in the first one, which lasted around 9 issues, and it should have been about 5 issues long. I mean, that story arc with Massacre was just so long and so it was just too long, and it just felt so bogged down by everything, so diluted, that you just really didn't get the whole thing with it. And then you got the whole thing with some guy who gets control of, or has his powers when he's in his own cities, and so he controls his own city. I mean, that part was just dumb in Judd Winnick's run. But Father Lost, I felt like he was a cool character and he had potential, but I felt that the potential wasn't there because there was a new writer going on, and he just didn't want to tell any stories with Father Lost. So, in the end, I'm going to give Batwing just a 2 out of 5. It was a great start to the issue, but then the later half and to the end was just bogged down, and the writing just seemed like it went downhill, and so did the art. Hopefully this artist stays on the book, but does arts like how he did in the first page. I mean, this is one book line that I really want to succeed, but it just doesn't have the villains there to succeed. I mean, yes, it's a brand new title, and everything starts now with Batwing. And I just hope that, it can stick on and tell some great stories, because I think there's potential in here for Batwing. So, in the end, 2 out of 5. Then now we're going to start on with the Death of the Family books, and we're going to start off things with Batgirl. Now, the thing with Batgirl, issue number 15, is that Gail Simone, after the Death of the Family issues, she was fired from the book. I mean, she was not fired from DC Comics, but she was fired from Batgirl. Now, was her run perfect? No. I mean, there was definitely some times in there where you're just like, I don't know if Gail Simone really has her hands wrapped around who is Batgirl in the New 52. But she was given a hard job. I mean, she told so many stories in her run on Birds of Prey of Batgirl or Barbara Gordon as Oracle. And she just made Oracle so strong as a character. And then in the New 52, what did they do? They say, okay, now Barbara Gordon can walk and run, and now she's going to be Batgirl again. So you have to take all that work that she did on making Oracle and Barbara Gordon a strong character. She had to do it all over again. And I didn't think that she had a hard job on her plate. She did a good job with it, and especially in the last about 4 issues. I mean, they have been so great. And a lot of people came on to this series when it was the last story arc with the Death of the Family prelude that was in Batgirl a couple issues back. And people were like, I didn't get it. Well, of course you didn't get it, because you didn't read the whole story arc. And I was so interested to see where it was going to go, and I thought that Gail Simone was finally starting to tell the stories that she wants to, and she had a base to build on and build some great stories. Well, she's off the book. So in here, we get to see the Joker. I just love the beginning parts. There's basically two stories. There's the first story with the Joker talking to this psychologist and just seeing how he's playing with the psychologist and just the mind games that he plays with her. And basically what he does is he gives her a book and he tells her, this is how I see the world. And basically she tries to read it, but it's just a jumbled mess. All the writing is just sporadic and just nothing makes sense. So what does Joker say? He's like, I'm going to tell you exactly what it means, what all this means. And I'm just like, dang. I mean, I just love the artwork for the Joker. And you just see him, you just have fear in you and just the chaos that he brings. And he, as I said before, the Joker makes every single writer that much better. And it's just some great stuff. But then you see the Joker in the now with Batgirl and Barbara Gordon's mother. And this is a different kind of Joker, I feel, than the Joker that we've been seeing in the other tie-ins to even Batman's main title. Where this was it was a funnier Joker, and it was a Joker that just, he wasn't taking himself as serious. Which, you know, it was kind of like a little bit of breath of fresh air. But the things I did not like about it, he basically tells her, go to this part of the city and I'll tell you my master plan. Well, what does happen? He basically tells her, okay, you're going to need to go to this other this other chapel and bring flowers, bring all this different type of stuff, and then we can start the story. So I feel that the way that the story progressed was not as good as it could have been. I felt that the part where the Joker's in this rink is just filler. And there's a lot of monologuing going on between the Joker, and I just didn't feel like it was as good a storytelling as it could be. But the great parts, though, was the parts with Barbara. And she's not saying much at all. She is just there, and you just see the tears coming down. And the interesting part is that Joker never mentions at all about the stuff that he did in The Killing Joke. And there's a part in the Batman books where Batman tells all the family members, Joker does not know who you are. He is just messing with you, and he's going to break you down as hard as you can. And the reason why I don't think he knows who Barbara Gordon actually is because who is the one who leads Batgirl over to the skating rink? Well, it was her brother. And I basically think that her brother told the Joker, hey, if we get this lady, Batgirl will be there. And I basically don't believe that that Joker really knows who any of these characters are. He's just doing his crazy anarchy type of stuff. But basically he tells her, you're going to marry me. And if you don't, people are going to die. This lady who is, Joker does not know is your mother, is going to die. And I just love these scenes, especially the part in there where where Batgirl finally gets the upper hand on Joker, and just like, she's basically going to just beat the shit out of the Joker, and you just cannot stop but to root for what she's doing. And she puts a gun to the Joker's head. And I just love this scene. You could just tell that Barbara is going to do something that she's going to regret for so long. And I just absolutely love these scenes, just to see the anger that is in Barbara Gordon's eyes. It's just so great. I mean, the intensity in these scenes is just fantastic. But the plot, I thought, just went a little downhill. You know, basically what she does, she gets the note that says go to this place and everything will be, the plot line will keep on going. And I just felt like the way that the story was told could have been done a little bit better. But we do get a different Joker in here, and I still wonder, what is the Joker planning? He's planning this huge party, and if there's one thing I know about the Joker, he can put on a pretty damn good party. So, in the end, Batgirl issue number 15 is not perfect, but it is a damn good time, and I cannot wait to read the next issue. And I'm really sad to see Gail Simone going to be going off the book, or got fired from the book, and I'm not going to be picking it up out of protest to what they did to Gail Simone. Now, is that to say that any comic book has never done that to somebody, where they said over email, hey, we're going into a different direction, and sayonara, you're going to be going, we don't want you on the book anymore? Yes, that's happened, I bet, hundreds of times. But this is Gail Simone. And I just love her so much. And just, it's the fanboy in me that just says, don't do this to Gail Simone. Do it properly. Go to her and just say to her, hey, this is the reasons why we're doing this. And I do follow her on Twitter. And she has mentioned on her Twitter account that she's been talking to another book, to DC Comics, to another producer or whatever, and basically she's going to be on a team-up book, she said, and she's really excited about it, and I don't know what that book is going to be. Hopefully it's Birds of Prey. That would be freaking awesome, because I know that they have a new writer on Birds of Prey, because Dwayne Szynski, I think that's his name, he's going to be off the book, and new writer's coming in. But I hope maybe that new writer is just there temporarily, and Gail Simone will be the new writer. So, Batgirl, issue number 15, I don't know if I gave it a score, but I just give it a 3 out of 5. Okay, next up is Suicide Squad, issue number 15. And you can tell right here, there's no Death of the Family banner around it, but you definitely see the Harley Quinn and the Joker. And there's anything that I know about Harley Quinn is that when the Joker's around, magic happens. I mean, these two are just so great. When they come together, they just make such great comics. And then I was just so stoked to read this book. And Suicide Squad, I know it's one of those books that not a lot of people read, but it's been one of those series that's just been so much fun. And Adam Glass has this way of writing where there will be a death of a character or some shock at the end that just makes you want to come back for more. And it has that feel of not like a traditional comic, but of a TV show where there's always that cliffhanger that you're left off on. So we start out the issue with the Joker and Harley, and Joker knows that this is not the Harley he basically raised. And I just love these scenes. You just can tell that Harley's just fighting for her life because she knows that this is not the Joker that she just adores and loves. And you just see the messed up relationship between them, the abusive relationship, and it's just so creepy. And I just love the artwork in here. It's just so great. I mean, just beautiful stuff. And my favorite scene in this whole entire book is there a part where Harley, she basically passes out and she wakes up and you just see her opening her eyes slowly, and what she thinks is her regular Joker, the Joker that she knows and loves. And then she closes it one more time, and what does she see? She sees the monster that she thought was just a nightmare. And it's just so freaking cool. I mean, I just love these scenes with these two. And Harley, she's not going to go down quietly. And that's what I love about him. I mean, there's such an abusive relationship there that, I don't know, it just makes some great comics. And it's just some beautiful stuff. And then you actually do get some stuff with Amanda Waller and Yo-Yo. And these scenes, I thought, just added so much more to the whole entire Suicide Squad run with Adam Glass. There's been points in the Suicide Squad where Harley just got out of control. She basically broke free of Belle Reve, and she went to Gotham and started doing some bad stuff there, trying to get to Joker's face. And you wondered why didn't Amanda Waller pull the plug on her, go and, just do what she always threatened to do, is to kill whoever gets out of line. Well, the reason why is because she knew that the Joker would be back. And what did she do? In the first issue, she basically put like a camera into the eye of Harley Quinn, and so she could actually do a study on the Joker. And it's just so cool. I just love how Amanda Waller is just doing chess with Harley Quinn and seeing how everything works out in her mind. And that's one of the most strongest women in the whole DC comic line, has been Amanda Waller, and I just love her so much in this issue, and just to see how her plan is working out. And we get some more fights with the Joker and Harley, and it's just so cool. I mean, the one thing with this whole week of Death of the Family is that we get to see the shit be beat out of the Joker, and seeing how the Joker is basically just messing with everybody. And I just can't get the Joker, and what is he planning? This was a great issue, and if you love Harley Quinn and Joker stories, this is definitely one to pick up. The artwork's in here is fun, the writing's fun, and you get some revelations that you don't know if it's true or not, but if it is, dang. I really like this issue. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. Suicide Squad has been one of those books that not everybody's reading, but they should give it a try because it's actually really, really damn good. Now for the last book in this this video, I'm going to be doing Batman and Robin, the first part of Death of the Family. Now, James Tomasi, he has been one of those writers that I liked his first story arc that he did with, I think it was Nowhere or something like that. And I just love that first story arc. But then after that, I just didn't feel like he had another story to tell. Well, if I didn't think he had another story to tell, I am damn wrong, because in here is the most crazy I've seen the Joker and the most creepy I've seen the Joker in a long ass time. And there's one thing I was never seeing him really play with in the Death of the Family is the Joker's face. Is that the Joker never was really playing with it, you just seen it just tied on. Well, in here, it's so damn creepy to see what happens to the Joker and seeing how he is playing with his face. And it's just, oh, damn creepy. So the storyline is that Batman basically told Robin, there's been so much hell going on with you. You have your mother who has put a hit on you of like so much money, and there's been assassins coming after you, and now we have the Joker in town. You are going to stay home, and I am going to go do my thing, and I don't need to be watching after you while I'm chasing after the Joker. And of course, what would Damian do? He's like, I don't think so. I have been trained, and I know what I'm doing. And what does he do? He says, Batman, he does not have time to go and look for the Joker as he's trying to protect Gotham City, or not the Joker, but Alfred as he's protecting Gotham City. So what does Damian do? He decides to go look for Alfred. And I just love this. I mean, there's been so much that it just seemed like Damian did not like Alfred whatsoever. But in this book, I mean, he was just being a hard-ass kid to be a hard-ass kid. And he really does care for Alfred, because he knows that Alfred just loves his father, and it just feels like that Alfred is his grandfather. And that's what I get from here. And you get some great points in there with Damian and his dog, Titus. And I just love this moment. I do think that Titus is going to be killed off in Death of the Family. And I do think the Joker will kill off the dog. Which that's going to be really sad to see. So basically, you got Damian just going and trying to find the clues to where is Alfred. And basically, it does get him to the zoo. And I love this artwork right here. And one thing I'm glad to see is that there's not two artists in this book. Because the last two issues, there's just been two artists on there. And the artist just did not match whatsoever and just took away from the story. Well, in here, we got one artist. And it's just, he's just killing it. And then we get some points in there with the Joker. And the Joker basically explained to Robin, you, out of everybody, I like you the best. I can just see a little piece of me in you. But since you are a Robin, I'm going to have to kill you. And I do love how in this book, Robin, or the Joker, never basically hints that Robin is the son of the son of Batman. There's no way that Joker even hints that he knows that Damian is the son of Bruce Wayne. He more talks to him like how he would to Tim Drake. So it would just like, I can see why Batman does not think that the Joker knows who they actually are. There's some great scenes in here where basically the Joker tells Robin, you know what's the difference between you and or a bat and a robin is that the bat are night animals and the robins are day, and you guys were destined to fail from the beginning. And just the way that he plays off of the whole robin, or the whole bird of the robin, it's just so cool. And to see that the robin is what they eat most is the maggots, and to see him dump all these maggots onto Damian, it's just so freaking cool. I mean, I just love everything about this issue, and the Joker felt like a monster in this issue. And one of my favorite scenes of the whole entire one is where you get to see the eyes of the first person view of the Joker with his mask, and what will appear is, you have to read to find out. But in the end, this was a surprising issue. We got some creepiness with the mask of the Joker, just how it's played in with this issue. And I am so in. I mean, Batman and Robin has been a series that I was thinking about dropping because there wasn't any stories that were being told that I could really grasp onto, and I just thought that this was a series going nowhere. Well, with the Death of the Family, it brings all of it together, and we're getting such a great Joker story. So in the end, I'm going to give Batman and Robin issue number 15 a 4.5 out of 5. And the only reason why I didn't get a 5 out of 5, because it did have that shocking moment, some great dialogue, is at the end. The end, I just felt like, I just thought the story kind of jumped the shark a little bit. So I'm not really stoked about the ending, but with everything with the Joker and Damian, I absolutely loved. So in the end, 4.5 out of 5. Great issue. And definitely worthy for the mask of the Joker. I'm looking at you. This has been one great Death of the Family little mini series, almost kind of, or event. And it's just been so fantastic. It is just, every single time the Joker comes into a writer's head, the writer gets that much better. And I cannot wait for tomorrow when new comics come out and I get to read some more of the Death of the Family, because I know in the next week we're getting Red Hood and the Outlaws, the first part of the Death of the Family, Nightwing, and with Kyle Higgins coming back, which I cannot wait. And I think we got a couple more. So I cannot wait. And in my next video, I am going to be doing my reviews of Batman issue number 15. I wanted to just take my time with Batman issue number 15, and since it's such a great book, just tell it in its own segment. It gets its own segment. That's what it is. So in the end, I just love comics, and I hope you guys enjoy. And also, I'm going to be moving, and once I move and I get my own room, I'll be able to do it not in my car but in a room, and there'll be a lot more videos. I got so much ideas which I cannot do yet. Like, I want to tell you guys who is who in the New 52, because I want to tell you about stuff like Quintana and just everything about that. So there's a lot more to come, and I'm going to have a lot more videos out there. My name is David. This is the Comic Fix. I'll see you guys next time.